Hi, Abe Corrigan here for my first video with Lotus Box. We are playing a Modern Dredge League to prepare for the Open in Cleveland this weekend. I think Dredge is a very good choice right now in Modern. It's one of the few decks that I think on any given weekend can't be too wrong to play, and it's super proactive and powerful. So before we start with our matches, let's just talk about some of the specific card choices. This list is pretty stock. It's inspired by Sodek on Twitch and also some of Oliver Tomiko's tech. So I'm playing the second Dark Blast over the second Thug, which I think is pretty good just in general. I think that's how you should build the deck. Dark Blast just has a lot of utility, and only dredging one less isn't that much of a shortcoming. The main interesting card choice is Steam Vents over the second Gemstone Mine / Mana Confluence slot. I'm playing Steam Vents because when you're fighting through Graveyard Hate post-board, I think it's actually pretty important to be able to cast your Prized Amalgams and Narcomoebas, and being able to fetch for your copy of Steam Vents lets you do that much more efficiently than, or you can do it with much more likelihood than if you only had one more blue producing land. So I think that is important, and just in game one, like sometimes you looting turn one, and then you just get going dredging, and then on turn two you don't have anything to do with your mana, so you just play an Archimedes or whatever. It comes up, and it's been pretty good for me. I was a little skeptical at first. I was playing it the last open where I had 2 Memories Journeys in my sideboard, which obviously made it better, but I think after playing with it, even without Memories Journey, I still want it. As far as the sideboard goes, I'm on 2 Leyline as my Graveyard Hate. People were moving around a little bit in the past. I moved to Memories Journey. I had Surgicals at one point. Other people have been playing a Ravenous Trap. I think now I'm just back to 2 Leyline of the Void. It's just really important in the mirror, and the mirror is what matters right now. So I think that this is the correct thing to be playing for this weekend, especially with the Phoenix list being a little less reliant on Surgical, going down to 2 copies instead of 3. I don't think it's as important to have the extra copies of Memory Journeys in the board when you can just dodge it more often. And then I'm playing 2 Blood Moon right now. I'm trying this. This is my first league trying this card in my sideboard. It's for Tron and Amulet primarily, and both those decks are severely on the uptick, I think. So I want a card that just totally blows them out of the water. So without further delay, let's hop into the league. Okay. So this hand is obviously very good. With Dredge, you want a pretty tight mulligan range. You want to mulligan to looting or cathartic with a Dredger normally. There are obviously exceptions to that rule, but you definitely want to mulligan aggressively. This hand is great, however. Here I'm going to get Stomping Ground. Maybe it's correct to get a black, but I think this will be fine. Oof, okay. So now we hit 2 Cathartics, we didn't hit land, so I'm gonna obviously discarding Imp. It doesn't really matter what I discard if I discard the Imp or the other Amalgam, I'm taking Draw Step next turn anyways. So I suppose to hedge around Surgical Extraction, I would rather have this discarded because I don't really care about either of these in my hand anyways. So I'm going to do this. Okay, so Shadow. Our hand is pretty well set up against Shadow if we draw a land, but we still need to draw a land, of course. Alright. Normally this would be pretty backbreaking for many decks, but with Dredge, this is still an okay position. Obviously not ideal, but we still have game. Okay. So now, it's not as important to get a land. We still just really want to hit a land. So I'm going to take another draw step. Dredging doesn't really get us anywhere. Dredging might also kill us quicker with a Creeping Chill. And one thing to know with Creeping Chill is that it is a May, and so that can be relevant in situations like these. I don't think there's any reason to main phase a Shriekhorn, so I'm just going to wait. Okay. Gurmag. When they take this long to cast their spell, it's always Gurmag. Here, I'm going to activate now, because if I hit an Archimedes, I do want to just chump block. Okay. So there's no reason to Shriekhorn my upkeep, because I'm never dredging. Just wait. Alright. Well, pretty boned. No. This is how it goes sometimes. Unfortunate, though. This matchup normally revolves around Temur Battle Rage, and so just aggressively blocking before you think you need to is really important often, because they don't want to preemptively Temur Battle Rage, they want to Temur Battle Rage you for the win. So I try to block super aggressively in this matchup. Additionally, Stinkweed Imp is really important in this matchup as a card you can just cast for its full value. Sometimes just a 3-mana 1/2 Death Touch flying recursive threat is really good against them. And so oftentimes I'll even cast Stinkweed over flashbacking and looting per se, if my opponent has a Gurmag, or sometimes just before they have a threat to preempt it. So for my board guide, I use Sodek's guide, which I think we can get it linked in the YouTube description. Sodek plays a ton of Dredge on Magic Online and is pretty much the best resource. His guide isn't exactly for what my 75 is, but it's still a good guide for a way to board. So against Shadow. So axes, Medicae. So he has a Vengeful Pharaoh in this version of his sideboard guide. I don't have the Vengeful Pharaoh. I'll board out Dark Blast. Gemstone, and so you want to cut a reunion on the draw. You want to cut a reunion on the draw and a Shriekhorn on the play, because on the play you can normally get your Cathartic under their counterspell, and they just have less opportunities to discard out of your hand. Whereas on the draw, they can play their first turn playing a cantrip or whatever, turn 2 doing whatever they want, a hand disruption spell, and they can hold up Stubborn Denial more efficiently. So I board like this. Oh, we can also board out the Steam Vents instead of the Gemstone. Sometimes I forget about that because Sodek doesn't have the Steam Vents in this list. This hand's okay. I'm going to keep this. It has a removal spell and Dredgers. Lightning Axe is really good. Just in this deck in 75. You board it in a ton of matchups. Here, I want to lead on Fetch. I just want to take 1 and get a tapped Blood Crypt. One thing to note with the Shadowless is there have been murmurs about them moving to 4 ley lines. I'm not sure if Sam Pardee did it in his recent GP list, but I know that some people have been doing it, and that makes the matchup obviously much worse. And once you have to board in claims against their, efficient mid-range deck, it feels really poor. Blood Crypt tapped. So I can fetch a Stomping Ground to get back 2 lands with my Loam, which keeps me at 7 cards, so I don't get a discard. But it does deal me 3 damage. It makes it so I'm essentially forced to Copperline Gorge next turn, which is okay, but I don't know if I want to take 3. I think I will. Just keep my hand large, and next turn I can maybe leverage the fact that I can move to discard if I get back more lands. So I'm going to go to 15, get back an extra land, and pass. Hopefully, my opponent has a Gurmag and doesn't have a Stubborn Denial. Okay. Seems as though they have a Gurmag and Stubborn Denial. That's how it feels. So, don't think there's any reason to upkeep this. Going to just take a Dredge. Okay, that was pretty good, obviously. All right. So, I probably want just to have... So I can discard a land and then just get it back with Loam immediately to my axe. But I think I just actively want the extra Dredger in my yard. I don't think this Dark Blast is going to be doing much in my hand. So I'm just going to main phase fire that off. Discarding my Dark Blast. Okay. So I can play the Loam or I can hold it. There's also an argument of whether or not I want to fetch or not. So it's probably better just to hold Loam because I have this Dark Blast in my graveyard now. So next turn I can dredge Stinkweed Imp, and the turn after I can dredge Dark Blast even if I don't hit another Dredger off my Stinkweed Imp, because my plan next turn is most likely to cast Stinkweed Imp. So I think if that's the case, then I should just play my Copperline Gorge untapped, which gives me the option of chilling, which I doubt I will do. I'm also just going to take this block here, because again, I want to preempt being within Temur Battle Rage range. Okay. It's fine. Okay, so now we have a decision point of whether or not we want to chill. I think we just do. We can just kill our opponent pretty easily. And we're still not going to be in Temur Battle Rage range. So we will do it. But it is something to think about in general. So we hit a Looting. But our opponent could easily have another Stubborn Denial. I think it's just pretty clearly correct to play the Imp here. And then most likely fetch a... our Blood Crypt's gone. So... So end of turn, with the fetch land, I could fetch and get Stomping Ground tapped, but that would leave me vulnerable to my Bloodghast getting Surgicaled if I mill it on upkeep. But I doubt my opponent will Surgical my Bloodghast. I think if they had Surgical, they would have gotten the Imp, because as you can see, it's so annoying here to break them off. So they'd have had to draw it for turn, and I just don't think Bloodghast is the most important card in this situation. So if my opponent wants to Surgical it, power to him. I think it's just better to get Stomping Ground. I'm never gonna not be doing anything. Okay, well, we hit the Bloodghast. So now, probably want to start with a flashback looting. Yeah. Yeah, alright. It's just flashback looting and see what's up. I don't think that there's any reason to go for lethal. It just goes too poorly too many ways. And I feel pretty safe behind my Stinkweed Imp at the moment. Snap Stud, sure. So we still have a Fetchable, we have a Mountain and a Steam Vents left in our deck. Okay, so now I do sort of have a decision. So I doubt my opponent has another stub. They could. But I can attack with just Narcomoeba, which would mean that through a removal spell I could kill them next turn with the Chill. That would make his Death Shadow a 9/9. That would just be too risky. There's no reason to do that. But, so our opponent has to hit a Battle Rage. Even with Battle Rage, it's not lethal yet. They have to have a way to damage themselves. 2 cards on the bottom, that's good. Alright. Well, now we're dead to Battle Rage. Doesn't have it still. Dredge. So Dark Blast would make it so if I hit a Amalgam, I could Dark Blast my Bloodghast and get it back. Can also kill Snapcaster, which isn't very relevant. I just don't think that the lands are going to do anything. And so the Dark Blast gives me a little bit of utility. So I think that I'm going to hedge for that. Okay, so we did hit an Amalgam. Well, I mean, obviously we could just attack anyways with the Bloodghast and then get it back post-combat, so that doesn't actually do anything. So our opponent's Death Shadow becomes an 11/11. We block with Stinkweed Imp. We take 18 trample plus 2 from the Snapcaster, but with the Dark Blast, we don't take lethal. So we are actually okay through a Temur Battle Rage. So if that's the case, I might just want to not play this Creeping Chill because it puts him, or I guess, so he could go to 1 and then we'd be up 3. So he'd be at 23. This would be at 12, so this would be 22. So we would actually still live, I believe. Because, oh no, but we can't Dark Blast as well as play the Chill. Because he would go to 2 from the Chill, then 1 from the Fetch. So this would be 24 trampling minus 2 is 22. We'd be at 23. And we'd take 2 from this. Okay, interesting. So because of that, I don't want to do this. Alternatively, we're dead to any fetch, right? 11, 22. Oh no, I'm sorry. I think we're just dead to Battle Rage still. Because this is an 11, we only get to kill 1. Okay, we are dead to Battle Rage anyways, so I apologize. 3, 4. So let's chill and see what he does. Okay. Fine with them going to 3. Okay. Is there any reason for me to shock myself? For the Dark Blast? Don't think so. Guess no. 4. Okay. Another Gurmag. Sure. They have 1 card in hand. Probably don't want to give them another out to Battle Rage. I probably just want to present lethal. Okay. Well, we also hit a Conflag, so they are dead. Let's start with Conflag because if he was done with Surgical. So now even if they have Stubborn, we can chill them and they die. The draw, board out this for this. And run it. It's also interesting whether or not I want Blood Moon in this matchup. I think because this matchup is good, I just don't want to dilute my deck. I want to keep it as consistent as possible. So this hand is a keep. It's very insulated against Thoughtseize, and you just have a lot of looks for your Dredgers. Opponent kept a no-lander. Bottomed. So I expect they have Surgical, but I guess if they have Surgical, maybe I want to just wait and take a draw step. Because the thing is that it's not like if they hit land, they're going to kill us. So we don't need to go super fast. So I think we can just wait just to not spew our cards. I'm not sure here, though, because, you know, you do want to go fast and punish them for stumbling. I think I'm going to wait. The likelihood of me hitting a Dredger is low. They probably have a Surgical, and I'm not going to get punished for it. Okay. Now we just get another look. Here, I like Cathartic. Just get the most looks. Fresh cards. And I'm going to keep... Should I keep the Blood Crypt? Okay. We're doing stuff, sort of. Alright, nice. Well, they haven't done anything, so they lose. Alright, so they have Surgical. I want a Looting. So I don't think I'm going to Cathartic this turn, because I can... He'll Surgical me and I'll draw, which is fine, but I think if I start with Shriekhorn and then Looting, I just have a lot of looks at another Dredger anyways. And I want to be able to play through his Surgical. Because if he doesn't have Surgical, I win the game anyways, so I might as well play assuming he has it. So we hit a Chill and a Thug. Perfect. Surgical my Chills. Sure. Alright, so my opponent is pretty boned here. So now I'm just going to Cathartic, because they've extended their Surgical. Ooh, they're still not F6'd. Interesting. Whatever. Either we hit the Dredger, you just want to Cathartic. I don't think I need the land. I'm probably going to hit a Loam here anyways. I just want to go nuts next turn. Okay, so not F6'd. Thug first. Right. It's not looking good for the opponent. Okay. So now if I have a third surgical to take my blood ghast, I still think I can just conflag and stinkweed them out pretty easily. Okay, sure. Well, now we'll test my theory. It's kind of wild. Alright. So, I'm not going to play around any surgicals. So the trick with the Shriekhorn is that if you have a Stinkweed in your graveyard and that's the best Dredger in the spot, you don't want to activate the Shriekhorn first, because if you dredge over a Narcomoeba, you want extra looks at a prized amalgam to trigger. It obviously doesn't apply here because we don't have the Stinkweed. But in a lot of situations, you want to just not Shriekhorn on upkeep, depending. Just Shriekhorn timings are pretty complicated in this deck, and so learning them is important for the fringe scenarios. I guess, sorry, I didn't see I have the Thug. So the Thug, but I don't have Narcomoeba in my deck, so what am I talking about? Alright, so we hit a conflag. That's good for us. We need that. So I'm gonna just build my mana this turn, I believe. Stomping Mountain. I just want a bunch of real lands instead of fetches, because they suck. Right. I guess I'm just gonna have to discard anyways. That was stupid. I should have thought about it. Yeah, that was bad. Alright. I just have the best hand right now. I'm gonna stop dredging. I'll probably play that turn pretty badly, but so it goes. Looting. Okay. So, do I want to conflag my opponent for 10 before they can hit surgical? I'm gonna hit counter spell. Because next turn if they play like land, Gurmag, and what's it called, I'll get kind of boned. Alright, so I think I'm gonna take a draw step. There's no reason to do this now. Ooh, interesting. Alternatively, I could go for a smaller conflag, because it kind of does the same thing overall. I also want to play around Snap Surgical, so putting him to 1 is kind of appealing that way. Also, just it turns off all his lands. Yeah, that's probably correct. I'm just gonna put him to 1. I can put him to 2. Play a land. I guess it's a reason not to do that, huh? Yeah. I was tanking. I was just, ugh, yeah, this was so bad. So if I play Stinkweed, and they have Snapcaster Mage, so I played around Gurmag plus Stubborn Denial, and I also played around Snapcaster Surgical. Versus my play was worse to Shadow into Teamer Battle Rage. Plus, with my play, I have a 7-outer to win if that's the case, because they have to play a land tapped. They also might not have a land, and it could be a fetch land as well. So I think my play was still fine, putting in a 1. But it just felt kind of bad for them to play Dash out of there. I'm not sure. Alright, my hand's great. This is probably our worst matchup. Just because, like, if they ever play Titan, they bog us game 1. They've moved away from Relic in their board, which is good for us. But our plan just doesn't line up very well. They just don't really care about what we're doing, and they exile our graveyard a bunch and bounce their bog, and it's obnoxious. So here, interesting. So here, it sort of depends on how fast you want to go. I think that we need to, like, we could set up a for sure turn 2 Dredge, but I'm just going to play Shriekhorn because we need to go fast in this matchup, so looting is just much, much more explosive. Slayer's Amulet. Okay. So with Shriekhorn, if it's in the just early game, this is essential with the deck, is you always want to Shriekhorn them on your second main phase in case you hit exactly Narcomoeba or Prized Amalgam. You get a Prized Amalgam back on that end step so that you can attack for 3 next turn. It's super, super unlikely, but it's just one of those things that you just want to get in the habit of doing. So we didn't hit a Dredger. So we can Shriekhorn first, which means we don't get a Bloodghast in play. But it gives us the higher upside of hitting a Dredger, which I think I'm in for, just because we gotta go fast. Okay, well, we hit an Amalgam. And... so, their pain's a little slow. We're gonna be fine. But not gonna be the turn for Titan, unfortunately. Unless we go crazy next turn. Okay. Jukabog. So they're not going to Titan us next turn, most likely, unless they have a Zeus, a bounce, and Titan, which is pretty unlikely, so I'm just not going to play around that. They have this Bog, so that makes me want to hold up my Shriekhorns. I think my plan this turn is to put as much power into play as possible and leave my Shriekhorns so I can rebuild the next turn. Thug. And I hit... Oh my gosh. My opponent might die. Okay. So, that was pretty good. So I can either flashback looting, or I can just conflag them for 4. They go to 16, I put 3, 6, 9, 11 power in play. And they'd go to 5, which means they would be within double chill range, and they can't really stop 4 attackers that easily. So I think I'm just supposed to go for that instead of this looting, because this looting doesn't accomplish anything without Dredgers. If I had Dredgers, it might be good just to hit more Narcomoebas and chills, like if I just want to go fast. But it's only 2 cards. So I'm going to just deal some damage. Also leave the Stomping Ground in play for other Bloodghasts. Might be worth extra damage. Because they go to 17, then minus 11 down to 6, so they're still dead to double chill. We only have 2 chills left, though. So I think it might just be better to do that. It also leaves us a card in hand for looting, which is kind of useful. Okay. So I'm going to do 3. Yeah, it does suck not to have these chills in my hand, but I don't think that they can stop these attackers. Yep. So again, I'm going to second main phase these in case I have my exactly 4th amalgam. Okay. Keep. One-hitter Dredger. Missed. All right. Suva. So you have a Titan, but you don't have a land drop. So the best you can do is get Kabira plus Colony. Garden doesn't save them because they only have 2 blockers and they take exactly 5. So I don't know if they have. I don't think that they have outs, but you know, it's Amulet, so who knows? Really. I guess if they have a Tribe Scout, they can block for a turn. That'd actually be pretty bad for me. This means my opponent has a Garrison in their hand because they played the Vesuva and they could have. Sorry, they don't have Vesuva, obviously. I thought that they could Slayer Stronghold me, but they can't. Acting for Tribe Scout, most likely. Tribe Scout, yeah. Alright. I think I'm just pretty dead now. I want to hold this in case I draw Cathartic. So let's pay for. Can bog me, but I don't care. The Vesuva being in play is pretty bad for them, for sure. Because if they could fetch it, they could fetch, like, Vesuva bounce land, Vesuva Colony Guard, bounce it, play Colony as land for turn after giving this. I guess they can't even give this Vigilance. Oh, gosh. Am I dead? No, I'm definitely not dead, actually. I don't know. Maybe they can set up an EE turn or something. Like EE plus Colony Garden to block my Bloodghast. Something. I don't know. I only have 1 chill, 1 conflag left. I don't even have double act for Bloodghast. What? What did they get? Wait, how do they have 2 Vesuvas? Oh shit. Damn. That's not stock, and that's really bad for me. Thanks. Come on. All right. Well. So go to 1. Them not having extra land drops is good for me. But they can probably... Can they transmute this turn for a... And they need to play their Colony Garden. So they can't transmute T West. Okay. Although they can kill me. Oh, but they don't have any Vesuvas left. So they can get Garrison. But I have to have any colored land for their Slayer Stronghold. If they have any red source, then they can, because they have 2 amulets, they can, if they have a second red source, they can, or no, but they don't have Vesuvas. I'm not sure if I can die, unless, I mean, if they have another Titan, if I don't understand, I'm dead anyways, so I should just attack. It's weird, though, because the damage is close here, so I wasn't sure if I was supposed to leave an Amalgam back or not, but I definitely need to make sure that they die if they don't have the gas. So, I like this. I don't have any Vesuvas. They have Garrison. They were Titan. Or T-West. Alright, I am dead. But again... Oh, because I can get Bounce Land, Bounce Vesuva, and then Vesuva the Garrison, and make it double striking. Yeah. Alright, so... They have me dead. This matchup is pretty horrible. We have Blood Moons. It's kind of nice. You have to mulligan pretty aggressively in this matchup. Any middling hand just never gets it done. You have to really kill them. Okay. Yeah, so they haven't played land, so they can Vesuva and double strike. They should leave this untapped, right? Okay. Wait, they didn't bounce their Vesuvas. I guess I'm still dead just to not having damage, but... could they have killed me? Am I dead anyways? Oh. I'm very dead anyways. Oh, they just had it in their hand. Okay, cool. These two... What did Sodek say? He says... You want 2 Dredge. But we have the second Dark Blast in the main. He has it in his board. Cut a Thug, a Horn, and an Amalgam. Horn, Thug, Horn, Amalgam, a Thug. And I want 2 Dredges. On the play, I want to keep 19 lands and the Andromeda Borderland out. Cut another Horn. It's fine. Yes. Okay. And has cards. Interesting. So I'm gonna shock myself with Blood Crypt and play Looting, I believe. Most likely discard Bloodghast plus Ancient Grudge if I don't hit a Dredger. Ooh, I'm gonna discard these. Hopefully attack my opponent with cards. Alright, I think my opponent is pretty fucked this game. actually. Amulet. Fetch a basic here. Blood Moon. Might just fetch a might fetch a Stomping Ground at the next one to just be safe because the damage doesn't matter though. So, right. Oh yeah, you're just in the Twilight Zone. I don't think my opponent can win through this Blood Moon play, so I'm going to fetch a Stomping Ground if by some miracle they remove it from the battlefield. Well, I'm just going to do this. Seems pretty good. On the draw, I'm going to bring in a Shriekhorn and board out my Gemstone Mine. Gemstone Mine's kind of good, though. But I think I want Steam Vents. Although, when they have Boglock, it doesn't matter what I do at all. Maybe I just want the extra green source for my loams. Yeah. In this matchup specifically, I just don't think that hard casting them is ever good enough. And it's pretty good. I mean, I never remoting this. Hand's obviously a keep. On the draw in this matchup, though. Don't feel favored with just one Dredger. Oh, that's so brutal. Can't cast it. Damn. I should have played a Conflag for 0. That was a really big mistake. I don't know what I was thinking. Sorry. I just had a moment. Boy. So the question here is if I want to discard 2 Dredgers or 1 Dredger and an Amalgam and try to get really lucky. I think I'm just supposed to discard 2 Dredgers, but it's really, really horrible because they're just 3s. It's just way too greedy to go for the other play. Okay. What the heck? For a permanent card. Bog me. Damn. What the hell? It's kind of sweet. We are incredibly dead. So, I don't have a Titan. What's the best way to win? Play a Loam, set up Dredge. It's very slow. Alternatively, I can Conflag, which is also really slow. Yeah, she lands too bad. Alright, let's loam. My opponent has no cards forever, we can win. Classic strategy. Bounce land? Jesus. Alright, I'm gonna just instantly concede to Titan here if they have it. Alright, we're in it. Land, maybe? Bloodghast, I'm in it. What do I want to pitch? Ugh, another bounce land, jeez. Another bounce land. Interesting. This is weird. They should just hold the bog. I guess they have like Corner Queen or something? I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, they have none. So they have Colony Garden and. Alright. I think I want to conflag. Definitely here. Probably should just conflag last turn because if I hit land, I can actually get power to play. It's a mistake. For sure. Like, they just had the bog anyways, but it doesn't. I should have waited for the bog there. Not playing very well. Okay. So now we really need. Okay. Didn't really matter what I did there, even though I kind of messed up. I should have played the loam into the bog the last turn because I didn't know that he had the next bounce land, and then it would have made it so I was able to like conflag in 2 turns. It is good. No looting here. I really want to hit a land. Not ideal. Alright, take a draw step. Play a looting. So now that we had to land on the first one, we can dredge. So my next turn, I'm gonna dredge loam and hope I hit a couple lands, so I still at least get the gemstone back. But, okay, it's fine. Guess I'm supposed to play gemstone. Well, no, because I think next turn I'm not going to play this loam. I'm just going to cathartic. So, rather play this as my follow-up land. Okay. That's really good for me. So Bloodghast, yeah, that's really good. Okay. My opponent is now on a clock, for sure. Discard these non-great cards. 1, 2, 3. So we're We get 10 power in play. Seems good. First. Another mine. I mean, maybe I don't want to have 6. I don't know why though. Dredge and imp. And I didn't know. Oh, we have 3rd line here. Okay. All right. So now we attack, and then so they definitely have counterspell here. Sorry. So we don't want to conflag for everything. Oh, they're dead. Okay. Yes. And conflag you for 7. All right. Okay, so against Tron, don't we have blue Tron here, but so we just want 3 Grudge, out Dark Blast, Horn, and Amalgam. We also have Blood, so Grudges. Decay is okay here. I don't think I want it against the blue version, even so. Dark Blast, Horn, Amalgam. I really don't want to go down 2 Dredgers. We're on the draw, so we can cut a land potentially. We are avoiding this Blood Moon. I'm going to board out of Steam Vents and either a Shriekhorn or something else. Flag's kind of hard to resolve against them with all their counterspells. Although if they're leading up counterspells, we can just chip in. Yeah, I think this is much worse against this version than it is against the normal versions. So I'm gonna do this. See how it goes. On the play, I'm gonna want my land because I have Blood Moon. So we have 17 lands for looting. This hand is not good enough. It's too much of a crapshoot. 5. That's good. I'm gonna top that. We do 2nd land eventually. Against Tron, I'm just gonna fire off this looting. I just gotta go quick. Alright. That's pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'll stay up on cards, I think. Guarantee my especially because my opponent has a counterspell up. Maybe this one. Why does he have this in his deck? Maybe they have push or something? Alright. Bog. Alright. It's fine. Sure. Alright, well, now I'll play my card. Again, my life total doesn't matter, so I'm going to hedge in case they do have an answer. So if we start on the looting, it's better if we hit the Dredger. But if we start on Cathartic, we get more looks to the Dredger. We also has counterspell up, so I'm just starting looting. Sorry. Oh boy. Let's pass. My Cathartic's just gonna get countered every time. I'm pretty far behind, I think. Now they had Island. Also could have had O-Stone, so it wasn't really a great spot either way. Mulligans to 5 are not great. Ooh. Okay, we're in here. I don't want to do this. I'm going to extend... man. So I can Cathartic, discard Cathartic Stinkweed, it gets countered, play Looting. I'd have 0 cards, but I do get a lot of looks to stuff. Alternatively, I could flashback Looting and get some looks to... I think I should just play... Maybe I should just play Looting first out of my hand, the 1-mana one. The question is that, do I want to cast Cathartic if I miss on land? I think that the answer is no. So then if that's the case, maybe I'm just supposed to flashback Looting. I don't hate it. Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana next turn. We can get Worm Coiled. We can't really do anything about that. Yeah, I'm just going to run Counterspell as best I can. Maybe our position's too bad, though. I don't know. Alright, let's play this Looting, and then we can decide. Because this one lets us do either. Like, if we hit land, we can still play this one. Okay. That was excellent. Now we get some looks. If he wants to counter, sure. Remand, or okay. And yikes. Damn. That's really bad. Maybe. I didn't know they had access to this, so I should have played differently. Interesting. Just gonna loot again. Alright, so next turn, we can Cathartic, hopefully get something going. Unless our opponent cards us, which would be not ideal. One top, one bottom. I mean, actually, Karn doesn't matter. What am I talking about? Wormcoil would be bad. Blister for 2. Perfectly acceptable. I'm not going to play another counter spell. Alright. So I still have 4 chills, 2 narcos, 3 bloodghast. Okay. Snapcaster. Thirst. Pretty good. Damn. I was kind of ahead in that position, but they had the counterspell. Alright, you got me. Can't come back from that. On the play, I want the land, most likely. Got the Shriekhorn. I hate going down. Neebler's in this matchup, though. You want to go so fast. Just cut the other Dark Blast. Go down to 9 Dredgers. It's not great either. Maybe I could just go without the land. Yeah, whatever. Let's play without the land. It's fine. This hand is very bad. This hand is kind of bad as well. So, 17 lands. So, let me turn this off. Sorry about that. So we have 2 looks. 17 outer. If we hit, it's very good. Versus a 5 against his deck. I think I'm going to take this. Oh, he was on a 6. Maybe that makes it more okay to go to 5. I guess now it's okay if we miss land for a couple turns, because he's on 5 cards. Alright. That could have been Steam Vents. We're never dredging, so just take a draw. Lagging a little bit. Okay. Boy. Alright. Looking good. going encrypted. I should have. Gosh. Walls on the stack. I'm going to do this in case I hit a triggered thing. Because if it encrypts me here, I really don't care. Like, there's no reason to hold this. I don't think. Yes, magic card. Please pop this. Be so good. Well, we got our thing back. I'm going to play a loam to prompt his thing. And then, ooh, let it resolve. Okay, interesting. This chill can be okay. I just want to keep. I want to keep 2 lands. I'm gonna discard Mire. Ooh, although having the fetch under the Bloodghast is good. So maybe Blood Crypt and I guess it's just the chill. I want to keep the second Reunion. That's fine. Blood Moon's much worse against Blue John, so they can really just function. What's it gonna be? Treasure Mage, okay. Can't be great for me if you have lands. Yep. Ugh. Fog. Oh, we're so dead now. Yeah. Darn. Opponents have had a lot of graveyard hate. We have had some anemic draws. Yeah. Alright, let's see what this does. Let's just have to do this way. So we have some grudges. Yeah, that's correct, actually. I like that. Our opponent. So our blood crypt, our second blood crypt is exiled. We can't Dark Blast here. Let's draw an Ancient Dredge. Right. Going to not Dredge. Actually, I guess I'm gonna have the. Sorry, this is much better Dredge, obviously. And we missed. Oh, if I had left open. Oh, no, sorry, this can't block. So. I think we're pretty dead. Not sure how we win. Oh, I could have attacked with all the blood gas and Dark Blasted one to get in some damage. I don't think it does much though. Right. Yeah, I should have thought about that though. This is gone. Alright. You got me. So I want to leave open. I guess there's no reason to leave open Dark Blast anymore. So I'm going to go for this even though it's unlikely to resolve. I'm not sure how I want to do it yet. I think I'm going to play Mountain. And not having a second black here is so bad. Because if I did have a second black, I'd get Alpha and then play Thug and hold up Dark Blast for my Thug. But now I just have to kind of go I sorted out my Steam events, right? Yeah. Getting fully punished for everything. But I still think setting out the fence is fine. Or I can either create a big shell. Yeah, I hit the Ancient Dredge. So it's countered. Yep. Oh wait, did I? Wait, when did I draw this? Oh man, did I draw this off the Cathartic? Damn, so I guess I left myself without fetchables now. This is so bad. Alright, we're making some mistakes. So now, Stomping Ground, Blood Crypt, Mountain. Yep. So bad. Just gonna double check. Stomping Ground, the Blood Crypt, Mountain. Yep. Damn. So I should have just fetched before playing my Mountain, and then this would have come up. I'd fetched. I was trying to play around hitting Blood Gas, but I already have 3 of them, so likelihood is low. Like if I hit the Blood Gas, then I can fetch in response, but it's just so bad. Blood Gas doesn't matter. I'm gonna Dark Blast because I want to Dredge. Gets me more looks for my Dredge. Definitely making a lot of mistakes this league. How it goes, I'm not used to talking and playing. Bounce my Bloodghast. Sure. Okay, well, that could have gone worse for me. Chill, sure. Just attack Bloodghast this time. Leave back. So Academy Ruins. Yikes. So now maybe I have to Blood Moon, which means that I might block differently. I was planning on blocking just the Worm Coil and taking, with the prize round, I'm taking 4 to set up my Dark Blast play to prevent the life gain. But now that he has Ruins, maybe I just have to kill him this turn. Yeah. I like that. What do we got left in tank? Let's assume he doesn't have Counterspell. We can't ever beat Counterspell. We have 0 chills. We have our con flag. Again, just really getting punished for everything. Wish I had the second con flag in this spot. So if we hit the con flag, we have 3, 6, we'll have 7 cards in our hand. We can deal 2, 2, 3. He'll be at 16. He'll go to 13. We'll take 2, 4, 7, 8. We can make it 1 more if we leave a land in our hand and get back Bloodghast. Take 9. Alright, well, I think the play is take it regardless and see what happens. Alright. Four mana Ballista. Alright. Well, we are dead. Yeah, so definitely making some mistakes in these matches, getting a little unlucky, but they've been close nonetheless. And no more Bajuka Bogs, please. Not a big fan of that card against me. This hand is quite poor. It's an interesting hand in the dark on a play. Sure. I think I'm going to lean towards keeping it. I think Dark Blast is good against a lot of decks, and I saw a lot of good cards that make this hand very explosive. It's not one of them. Don't want to shock. I don't think so. I think I'll just do it on upkeep. It's not that big a deal. Although, against most of the decks, the shock would come to bite me. Would be decks that play a creature on turn 1. Treetop Village, eh? Okay. So my opponent could play a Bob. That would... I think the downside's too high if my opponent just doesn't do anything or hand disruptions me. I guess if they hand disruption me, then it works anyways. So actually, passing is good against hand disruption spell, Tarmogoyf. I mean, it's not good against Tarmogoyf, but it's fine against Tarmogoyf. And it's good against Bob. So it's the same against hand disruption spell. Or I guess against hand disruption spell, I'd rather have both in my graveyard. Alright, sure. Whatever. This also entices them to play the Bob into me being tapped out. This matchup can be difficult, depending on how their deck is constructed. They just have, like, a bunch of good threats, and they're all playing Kalitas now, which is kind of annoying, and they all have a bunch of scavenging uses, and Nile spell bombs and such. Okay. Not great for you. Opponent's keep seems a little questionable. Ooh, I'm trying to play that looting. That's nice. It's pretty strong. Looting. Discard. Amalgam. I guess if they have Bob and not a green source, then I want to be able to Dark Blast on upkeep or something. I don't know. I mean, not Bob, Scavenging is. Please just play Liliana. Thank you. We'll discard my Dark Blast. Because I want to dredge my Imp and cast Alum. Alright. So now we got another Bloodghast. Some good stuff. Oh, we already have a lot of looting, so that's probably just what I'm doing anyways. Although loaming is kind of powerful. Yeah, I'm gonna loot. I just want to go fast. Dark Blast. And we hit. Not the best. Double case. I can play around Surgical maybe with the loam. It's kind of whatever though. We would have to draw it this turn. Alright. So now he's pretty boned. Again, the only things he can never win with is a Graveyard Hate, and he showed us he didn't have that. You got it. To conflagrate for a bunch, and you're gonna die. So I can put him into 14, and then not very much. Also keep a land. Still one. I don't think. Maybe keeping the Lily off sack is better, but my Bloodghast will have haste. I'm just gonna get a loan back anyways. So Q. So, looking back at our guide, against X, 3X, decay, about 2 horns, dark blast, amalgam. Pretty straightforward. Don't think I have anything else, so let's run it. Post board, they just have a couple more pieces of graveyard hate. It's still not great. Although having removal for their potential cards is good. My hand is pretty bad, but I think it's just keepable. I have a removal spell, I have some malleability. Problem is that this hand is, maybe not. This hand is really bad to discard spell. Obviously, the whole mulliganing against a discard spell thing sucks as well, but with Faithful sitting in my deck, an Axe, there's just a lot of stuff I can do. This hand has kind of high upside, kind of high downside. This is definitely a close one. Snap kept 7. I'm gonna keep. Yeah, I'm gonna keep. They're attacking from so many angles. You just gotta run 7s. Now my hand is pretty bad. Decay. I'm gonna play this because I think he has ooze. And the next turn I'll just discard. It just prevents him from playing the ooze. It's fine. I don't care about having the extra one less card in my hand. Extremely dead. I think I'm just going to concede. Pretty much can never win these games. Yeah, I'm just going to save time and concede. Because we didn't board it in claims. I'm still not going to board in claims, because this is only one of. And, yeah. That sucks. Maybe you need some number of claims, just because I can never beat it. But not great. Yeah, claim's just too bad against the Thoughtseize deck. me to bring in against the random cage. Just hope to dodge it. Especially in a matchup that's already not that great. This hand is good. Problem with these hands though is like I need to land, and my opponent deck just has 3 Nihil Spellbomb, so oftentimes it's just whatever. Which is why this matchup is bad, whereas in almost every other matchup this hand is stellar. Sorry, fire truck passing. Alright, but now my opponent is very on the test. Drawing land makes it so they really need a spell bomb. And, I should hit it, because I've missed quite a lot from these scenarios this league so far. I hope they just play a hand disruption spell. No. Oh, this guy. Damn. Alright. Dredge this, I guess. God, I'm so dead. Holy crap. I just take a draw step to my... Okay. There's another fire truck coming. Maybe I could have just boarded in a Grudge, because it would have made it so from this position I could just aggro Dredge and then have a stock graveyard. I should have boarded in 1 Grudge, just to hedge. Because they also have Spell Bomb, and you can force the action on that, so it's not the worst. Steam Vents. It's looking like a 1-3 to me. Interesting. I have no idea why they have Water Groove in their deck. I guess it's more to ego. Jeez. Okay. It's kind of a bizarre splash, but sure. Bloodghast. Sure. Doesn't seem like a good name. Do I want to just play a Stinkweed Imp this turn? Should probably just take draws to my decay. Just keep taking my 2%er every turn. Flaggerate. That card has some marginal text. Yeah, Grafdigger's Cage is a very backbreaking piece of hate against Dredge. Liliana the Last Hope. That one's good. For sure good. Something's going on. Okay. I think that the equity of playing, we'll play a couple more turns. It's fine. Surgical, my amalgams. Fine. This makes very little sense. Just, why do this now? I don't understand. Yeah. Show you. Go ahead. Do another fetch pool. We do right. I guess my opponent was scared of 3/3. Doesn't like it though. Field ruining my gorge is weird as well. Don't know if I agree with everything my opponent has done. Is there an instant in the yard? There is. Okay. Ooh, we're going off. Oh, we're going off. Wait, these cards are kind of good, though, is a problem. Alright, whatever. Yeah, I'll just discard this axe. Yeah, all that matters is the decay. I can fetch. I think I just want to fetch shock and do it now. Don't think this stinkweed is ever doing anything. Come on, decay. I don't think that keeping the, I could have tried to keep the Lily off ult with the Conflag. I just don't think that's a winning line. I think that's what I had to do, though. Okay. Now I think that my clock is too slow, because even if I hit the decay, he just ults his Lily. So, we're dead. Rough league, but so it goes. Yeah, we ran into a lot of hate, missed on our one-laners a bunch, made a decent amount of small mistakes, but it definitely showed a lot of the sequencing with Dredge. Yeah, that was unfortunate, and hopefully we can definitely link the sideboard guide in the description, so that'll be down there. And thanks for watching my first video. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Lotus Box, now powered by Coreboard Live, is proud to introduce you to all of its sponsors: Introspective, Red-Handed Art, and MTGO Traders. Use the code LotusBoxPayPal to get 8% off singles for orders over $5, and links to all of these sponsors are in the description box down below.